On a chilly evening in March 2003, a bright young woman named Hannah Claire Foster vanished into the night, leaving behind a trail of mystery that would grip the nation and showcase the relentless pursuit of justice. Born on August 31, 1985, in England, Hannah grew up in Southampton with her loving parents, Hilary and Trevor, and her younger sister, Sarah. She was the epitome of a model student, ambitious, focused, and driven from a young age. Hannah had her sights set on becoming a doctor, a dream she'd nurtured since childhood. Her family was her rock, always cheering her on as she aced her exams and prepared for medical university in her final year of high school. She wasn't just book smart. She was kind, responsible, and the kind of person who always kept in touch. That fateful night, March 14th, started innocently enough. At 17 years old, just months shy of her 18th birthday, Hannah decided to unwind after weeks of intense studying. She met up with her friend Helen for a casual evening out. The two girls grabbed snacks and drinks at a popular local bar, laughing and chatting like typical teenagers. By 10:40 p.m., they called it a night. Surveillance cameras captured them strolling down a nearby street, arm in arm, carefree under the streetlights. They reached the bus stop together, waiting for Helen's ride home. Hannah's house was only about a kilometer away, a short walk. She figured she'd manage easily on her own. The bus pulled up, the friends hugged goodbye, and Helen boarded, waving as it pulled away. That was the last moment anyone saw Hannah alive. Hours ticked by. Midnight came and went, then dawn. By 5 a.m. on March 15th, Hilary and Trevor were pacing the house, anxiety building. This wasn't like Hannah. She was punctual and considerate. If she ever stayed out, she'd call or text without fail. They rang her phone repeatedly. It rang out, but no answer. Texts from worried friends, including Helen checking if she'd made it home safely, went unread. Her phone was still active, pinging signals that would later prove crucial. By 10:30 a.m., her parents couldn't wait any longer. They contacted Helen, who recounted the evening exactly as it happened, then headed straight to the police station, because Hannah was still a minor and her disappearance was wildly out of character. The officers jumped into action immediately, no waiting the usual 24 or 48 hours. They treated it with the urgency it deserved. Helen, as the last person to see her, was interviewed thoroughly in her parents' presence. Her story held up flawlessly, backed by CCTV footage from the bar and bus stop. She wasn't involved. The cameras didn't lie. With Helen cleared, the focus shifted to tracking Hannah's phone. It had stayed on all night, connecting to cell towers with every incoming call or message. Police mapped these pings, plotting an eerie path from Southampton outward. Digging into the phone records, unearthed a bombshell. At around 11 p.m. Shortly after the goodbye, Hannah's phone had dialed 999, the UK's emergency number. It was logged as a silent call. The operator picked up, heard nothing at first, and instructed anyone on the line to press a key if they needed help. No response. So she hung up, chalking it up to a pocket dial or prank. But when forensic audio experts enhanced the recording, cranking up the volume and filtering noise, faint voices emerged from the background. A young woman's voice, presumed to be Hannah's, muffled and distant, conversing with a man. The phone must have been in her bag or pocket, too far to catch clear audio or relay the operator's words. Media outlets later dramatized the transcript, piecing together the fragmented exchange. The man, with a thick South Asian accent, pressed for details. "You live in this country?" "Yes." "English?" "Yes, I'm English." "Where are you from exactly?" "Farrington." My name is Sarah." Hannah, clever and terrified, was feeding him lies, her sister's name. A fake address in Fernhill, not her real suburb. She was buying time, stalling. The man's responses hinted at his origins. Older, possibly Indian or Pakistani.com, but insistent. Phone movements suggested they were in a vehicle speeding away. This call placed the abduction right at the bus stop's aftermath, turning a missing person case into a kidnapping. The phone signal trailed 30 kilometers to Portsmouth by morning. Police swarmed to the area, zeroing in on a waste collection site where they found Hannah's handbag and phone discarded like trash. Dread set in this wasn't a runaway. It smelled of something far darker. They ramped up to a potential murder inquiry. Hundreds of officers, volunteers, and dogs combed the countryside along the phone's path. On March 16th, just 2 days after she vanished, their worst fears materialized. Hannah's body was discovered hidden in bushes off a rural road, kilometers from the dump site. Forensics painted a grim picture. Asphyxia from strangulation was the cause of death. Scratches marred her face and neck, evidence of a desperate fight. Bruises on her head and legs showed a brutal struggle. Worse, she'd been raped beforehand. Semen provided DNA entered into databases, but no initial match. The killer was a ghost so far. Backtracking CCTV from roads matching the phone's route revealed a white van shadowing the signals. It appeared repeatedly, ferrying Hannah's phone and likely her through the night. Police appealed publicly, seeking a 35 to 40-year-old South Asian man driving a white van, familiar with the local area. Tips flooded in. One led to Manender Pal Singh Kohli, a 35-year-old Indian immigrant living in Southampton. Married with 2 kids, he worked as a delivery driver for a company that issued him a white van. His routes overlapped the crime scenes perfectly. Kohli had no criminal record, spotless in India and the UK. Neighbors called him hardworking, a devoted dad who attended school meetings religiously. But cracks appeared. The day after the disappearance, he showed up to work jittery with a fresh scratch on his face. His boss, suspicious, tipped off police. A search warrant for the van uncovered horrors: blood matching Hannah's on the back seat, semen linking to the body's DNA. Kohli was the prime suspect. But when officers arrived at his home on March 19th, his wife said he'd fled to India the day prior, claiming his mother was dying. Panic ensued. His brother was an Indian police officer, potentially shielding him. UK authorities pleaded with India, but responses were vague. Can't locate him. Kohli's family split publicly. His father condemned him on TV, saying if guilty, he should hang. His brother defended him fiercely, crying conspiracy. Weeks blurred into months, then a year. Hannah's parents, Trevor and Hillary, refused to let it fade. Desperate for closure, they flew to India in 2004, blanketing the country with media blitzes. TV interviews, newspaper pleas, flyers with Hannah's photo and Kohli's face, even a cash reward offer. Help us bring her killer to justice, they begged. A cab driver came forward. He'd picked up a man matching Kohli's description, who chatted freely, called himself Mike, a UK courier on vacation. Useless lead, but it showed Kohli was hiding in plain sight. The breakthrough came on July 15, 2004. Wait. No, that date's a typo in old reports. It was actually 2004, over a year post-crime. Kohli, bearded no more, head shaved, with a new wife and fake ID, boarded a bus to Nepal. No UK extradition treaty there. An alert Indian officer recognized him from plastered news alerts and arrested him mid-journey. Extradition dragged eternally. 100 hearings. 35 appeals orchestrated by his brother's legal team. Kohli even confessed on Indian TV, "I kidnapped, raped, murdered Hannah Foster." He claimed no intent to kill, just panic when she threatened to report him. "I was tired of running," he said, unburdening his soul for the cameras. But his lawyers fought tooth and nail, delaying until 2007. Finally, on July 28, 2007, Kohli landed back in England. Shackled and charged with kidnapping, rape, and murder. He pleaded not guilty, flip-flopping stories. First, found her body in my van, panicked, dumped it. Timeline and CCTV debunked that. Second, gangsters forced me. I feared for my family. DNA laughed at that, lethal semen was his. Irrefutable. Prosecutors reconstructed the nightmare. Post-bus, Hannah walks alone. Coley, heading home from work, spots her vulnerability. He pulls up, chats her up. Sensing danger, she dials 999 discreetly, phone hidden. She lies about her identity to protect herself. He lures or forces her in conversation, cuts off. Drives to a secluded spot, assaults her in the back, strangles her in rage or silence. Dumps the body first, then belongings, thinking he'd erase traces. Heads home, acts normalant till news breaks. Then bolts. Trial commenced November 2008. Evidence piled insurmountable. DNA and forensics, phone pings, CCTV, the emergency call. Guilty on all counts. Life sentence, minimum 24 years, no parole until 2032. When he'd be 65, the judge noted his calculated cruelty. This case haunts because it spotlights how technology, a lingering phone battery, enhanced audio cracked it wide open. Hannah's quick thinking in that call gave voice to her terror, guiding police. Her parents' tenacity crossed oceans. Coley, the family man, hid a monster within, preying on innocence. It underscores stranger danger's reality, the fragility of safety in everyday walks. Justice delayed but delivered, though no sentence erases the foster family's void. Hannah's story warns, inspires reforms in missing persons protocols, and reminds us, evil lurks, but truth persists. In a world of shadows, her light threw evidence and love prevailed, ensuring her killer rots behind bars, while her legacy urges vigilance for every young soul stepping into the night.